happy life, they also want happy life. So one human being try to kill other human being. Impossible. Impossible. Isn't it? So through education, we can really develop peaceful world. If
Your Holiness, the Global Indian Physician Collaborative aims to foster cross-systems learning to arrive at the best possible approach to prevention and management of COVID-19. Today we have with us our leadership, Dr. Pratap Reddy, Dr. Sudhakar Jonalagada, Dr. Suresh Reddy, Dr. Sanku Rao, Dr. Anupama, Dr. Sudhir Parekh from the US, Dr. Ramesh Mehta from the United Kingdom, Dr. Sunil Patel and Dr. Arun Garg from Canada, the Executive Committee of GAPIO, and our members from 49 countries. So 3 of our leaders would like to ask questions, Your Holiness, and let me invite Dr. Sudhakar Jonalagada, gastroenterologist and hepatologist from the US, who is the president of the American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, API. Dr. Sudhakar, please.
Namaskar, Your Holiness. This is Sudhakar Jonalagada. I am from Georgia, United States. I represent over 100,000 doctors in this country, American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin. I am from Guntur, Amravati, where I born. I'm sure the land is blessed by you, and you came to that town actually in Amravati a long time ago. My question to you, how can we explain faith, religion, and spirituality to our children?
As I mentioned earlier, all major religious tradition, you see, in spite of different philosophy, some say there's God, creator, some say no God, creator. So theistic religion, non-theistic religion, so philosophically there are differences. But all carry, as I mentioned earlier, all carry message of love, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance. So whether you accept the religious sort of the system or tradition, but essence of all religion is very relevant to today's world. Then I think to children, if you ask, you see, children, student or kindergarten, do you prefer mother's smile or angry face? Naturally, they say smiling face. I usually describe my teacher, first teacher of compassion is my mother. My mother almost, you see, never show negative face. Always with a compassionate face. So we can say to student, do you prefer smile teacher or a teacher with quite strict, and occasionally small beating? Then naturally, you see, student prefer those teachers who really always take care of the student and showing smile. So then student get the feeling, oh, this teacher really, besides teach us classroom, but really taking care about me, about all my life. So such, I think, such case, the student, when enter classroom with teacher smiling, showing warm feeling, then student feel much happier. So according to their own experience, loving kindness, altruism is something very important. So the students themselves, while they study about academic subject, you should keep warm-heartedness in order to you get more friend. You see, this smile, warm-heartedness is most important part. So brain through education, very smart brain without warm-heartedness here, you see, there's no guarantee that smart brain bring more trouble, more enemy. With sort of bright brain combined with warm-heartedness, then education itself then become constructive. No matter how sort of knowledgeable person, full of anger, they themselves not necessarily happy, and they create more problem in the society. So now in education, combination, warm-heartedness and knowledge here, this should come together. So we can ask students, according to their own experience, they prefer smile. So then we can tell them, oh, now you should be more compassionate person with this knowledge. Then you become more useful member of the society. Okay.
Tuche Holiness. And the next question is from Dr. Ramesh Mehta, pediatrician from the UK. Dr. Ramesh is the president of the British Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, GAPIO, and past president of GAPIO. Dr. Ramesh Mehta, please.
I really admire, you see, those. I really admire, you see, those.
Dr. Mehta, mute yourself.
Those doctors and nurses who really helping, serving people who have this illness. I really admire their courage. Even to some extent, they sacrifice their own because of the life, serving people. So I really admire. Then, now this
pandemic. Pandemic.
Oh, this illness, very unfortunate. Whole world. In this, as I mentioned earlier, you see, I always look holistic way. So then Indian tradition, some ancient Indian sort of scripture mentioned eventually we human being on this planet eventually, you see, disappear. The factor, the period of violence, now that already happened. Previous century, First World War, Second World War, then a lot of people still have the sort of view of weapon, military forces is basis of power. So that old thinking, actually, time gone. In order to build peaceful world, now these military forces no longer use. And actually, I often, you see, express the military or use weapon is old thinking. When you see society, feudal system, kings, queens, and sometimes even religious leader, they rely on using force. Now modern time, in democratic sort of world now. So if we investigate, if you ask individual soldier, I think they prefer the without any sort of because of the sacrifice of their life. But from outer sort of order, go there, fight. So they have to carry a weapon. But otherwise, the individual soldier, if we ask them, you prefer not killing each other, I think they must feel that way. So therefore, the very concept of war is outdated. So now, I usually used to say, this century should be century of dialogue. Whenever we find some disagreement, some difficulties, we have to find mutually agreeable solution. So this century should be century of dialogue. So then weapon, military forces no longer use any sort of problem, disagreement through talk and try to find mutually agreeable solution. And keep in our mind, we all 7 billion are same human brothers, sisters. We have to live side by side on this planet. So now, those doctors, nurses who really also they determined to serve, to help those people who have this was the illness, or in spite danger, or they themselves get some danger, or now here, as I mentioned before, the doctors, nurses, with full of sort of sense of concern or altruism, thinking about the patient, full of enthusiasm, maybe, you see, some inner protection. Working, meantime, a little bit sort of hesitate. As I mentioned earlier, you see, the one period violence, one period illness, then final period famine. Then world disappear. So there's ancient Indian literature mentioned like that. So we are now facing the time of illness. Maybe in any way, you see, we should keep self-confidence and determination. And then meantime, you see, the scientists, they already now carry some the experiment, research work, so wonderful. So without losing also the enthusiasm, we should face this, and according sort of each community's profession, you see, use. And ordinary people, you see, keep sort of inner strength. And then here, the one simple answer, the ancient 8th centuries, one Indian great scholar, now he mentioned, any problem we should analyze. if that problem can overcome, then no use worry. Right. If the problem this way to overcome, then no use too much worry. You should accept. Whole world eventually disappear. Now, next few decades, global warming, the global warming reach such a sort of level, then most may dry. So there's a nature process. These are not man-made, but actually it's a nature process that way. But meantime, we should pay India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, major river in this part of the world.